I selected my bar stainless, big long piece. I got about 5-foot piece here. I'm just cutting it down to size. The drawing calls for the finish length to be 8 1/4 inches. Not too bad. Let's get it center drilled and we'll get set up for threading. Now, I don't know what kind of stainless this is, but it's real hard and it's producing a very, very shiny finish, you know, as most stainless will do. In order to thread this, we need to cut in a shoulder. It's got to be a 1/2 inch, and it's got to be 300, looking at the drawing, it's 380 thousandths. So I've established my my end point here, my Z-axis. So I'm going to touch off and we're going to start taking off some of the diameter by a 1/2 inch to get down to our 1 inch diameter. So there's our touch off. We'll zero the DRO. Let's get our feed rate going here. We got to go 380. Let me set my Alright, we're reading 450 on the DRO, which means that this should be 550. And it's awfully hot. Look at that. 550. So the DRO is working perfect. We got another 50 thousandths to take, and that'll be our final cut, and then we'll get everything set up on the gearbox for threading. Moving the carriage now to 380. I'm locking it, and then I'm just going to plunge right in, clean up that shoulder. Now I went in 1,000th more. Clean that corner. Now that camera is making it look like there's all sorts of lines on this metal, but there is none. I can assure you that. Maybe it's just my viewfinder in the camera, but that's a clean piece of metal. And I got a real nice little facing cut, an additional little facing cut on that shoulder. So, alright, let's switch out the tool and we'll get ready to turn down this 5/8 diameter. Let's take ourselves a measurement now. We're reading 330 on the DRO. I've taken 330 off. So we've got 45 thousandths more to go. Final cut. Now, again, I'm stopping 10,000 shy. I'm going to come into my exact 760, which is my x-axis. And I'll lock my carriage. I'm just going to come in and clean up that shoulder now. Bring it to 376.5. That is hot. There you go, Ray. 625 and 4/10. Left a little room to polish. But in all intents and purposes, we are at our number. So I'm going to go here until it pinches, and it's pinched right there. I'll set my DRO to 0 so I can bring it back, and then I'm going to feed in 5 thousandths past that, because we know our... And you know what, I'm not going to go 5 thousandths because I'd assume that I probably poked into the paper at least halfway. So we'll go in 2.5 thousandths and then we'll zero it right there. Now I'm going to zero my dial on my compound. I got my gearbox all set up for 20 thousandths. For 20 threads per inch. And here we go. Alright, we'll wipe off our oil. And we'll check our threads against the gauge, and that looks... I wish my eyes were better. Perfect. So let's get our cross feed back to 0, and we will resume cutting our threads. Alright, the nut, our test nut fits on there a little tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just move in about 1,000th or 2 on the compound, very, very slightly, and take a spring cut as well. Very, very, very slightly, slight amount of play. That's a great thread right there. Let me just take a little chamfer cut. Now I have a little tiny burr inside, on the other side of the thread there, but I'll have to get that off with a file or something like that. But we're going to put the other turning tool back on now. We're going to get ready to turn the rest of the diameters down. We got this detail done here. We got our threads put in. We have this shoulder turned down. Now we have to make this gully in here, turn down this diameter, and actually this diameter, this far portion of it is going to be 950, right? So we just got to take 50 thousandths off this, And I'm going to check the knurling, my knurling chart to see exactly what this needs to be finished to, because it's the spec says 9.5 and they left off. Anytime you see the last digit left off, that means you have a tolerance that it could be smaller by 10,000, you know, by that last digit. So in this case, that's 10 thousandths. So I'm going to look in the threading chart, in the knurling chart, and get this diameter. But in essence, we're going to have to take the whole piece down to this diameter, then to this diameter, then to this diameter, and then plunge in for this small 1/2 inch diameter, and then put these two little chamfers. So let me look up what this diameter is going to be, and then we'll get ready for that cut. Alright, looking at our knurling chart here, now my wheels are 25 pitch, so the closest thing to 950 without going above it, right, because we can't go above it, 955 thousandths would be too big. So we're going to bring this down to 942 thousandths. Alright, this is a slow process, but we're looking for 942 now. Alright, 942 and 2/10. We'll take it, especially on this old South Bend. Alright, well here's our issue now. Between this point right here, you could see this, this little shoulder right here. Between here and here, that has to go down to 1/2 inch. Alright, so I have to do some left hand turning and some right hand turning. This is our right hand turning tool, and we have our left hand turning tool. I don't have a match set, so I have to use what I have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plunge in with my carbide parting tool enough room to fit, you know, this right here. Obviously it's going to be pointing the other way, but you know, this the thickness of this tool a little bit bigger so I could get in there. Okay, I have parted down to 1/2 inch, and I used the parting tool and actually cleaned it up. I mic'd it. We're at 501, 500,000, something like that. Definitely within tolerance. So now I'm just coming all the way. I have my 0 point set this way now, which will give me this shoulder here, and we're just, you know, taking it down. I gotta get rid of some of these chips, or I'm gonna have a nasty accident here. They're coming everywhere. So what I need to do is I need to slow everything down. I'm gonna slow my feed rate down and take smaller, lighter cuts now. We're approaching the diameter anyway. Just take a quick little measurement on here. We should be within about 40 some odd thousandths of 1/2 inch. And we are at 551. For safety's sake, I'm going to take another measurement. I want to sneak up onto this and do it right. Alright, and we are at 525, 535. Too bad of a finish for this old dog. Not that bad. 501. There's 501. So on this end we got 501, and closer back here we got 5. So that's that's actually pretty good. I'll leave that for polishing when all is said and done and this thing cools and returns back to the right, its right temperature. But what I need to do now is get set up for these little 45s right here. And you really just gotta hit it. Hit it fast. Doesn't mess up the camera, but I can't see the shoulder very well. I gotta like kind of look down on it. This is Ray Cornelia Precision right here. Our last cut right here. I'm happy with that. I hope Ray is. Ray is the boss. He's the big boss man, the big cheese, big kahuna, the head honcho, the lieutenant, the captain, president, CEO, the big man. Alright, I got my 45s cut now. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to plunge in a little bit, and this is going to be my relief for my knurling. So what I'm doing is I'm just using this little napkin here, and I'm just going to touch off slowly so I could reset my crossfeed. Come on. Alright. X-axis zeroed. I need to go in 91 thousandths. Yep, for each cut I made, there's one of these guys. I'll use a bar Z square with the knife edge to get under there. Alright, we need to mount up our tool, put a little chamfer on there, and then we'll get ready to knurl. Now this tool is not a 45. I forget exactly what it is, but it's bigger than 45, so I'm just using my little Z square here, a bar Z square, and setting it right there. Now I'll tighten it up and we're at 45. Stan would be proud. Alright, I'm bringing it down to my x-axis cross feed to 0, and I am just coming in. Now all this with these lines here is going to be parted off, so we don't really care about that. Alright, now we just got some knurling to do. Now I have my knurling tool mounted on here, and I have it slightly canted a little bit just to allow these knurls to bite in a little bit better. Alright, I thought I was filming, but I didn't. I didn't have the button pressed in. But what I'm going to do is start my way back. I'm going to coat this with a lot of oil. Go with another half turn, maybe a quarter turn will do. Check these out and see. Ooh, boy, that's nice. Taken now like a spring pass. There. Oh, that's the 8. Nice. Oh man, those are nice knurls. Alright, it's down to the wire. I'm talking to Ray right now through text, asking him about how deep I need to go because it's not on the print. I'm remembering from a conversation that I had that the quarter 20, whoop, there's our answer. No more than ½ of an inch. Yeah, that's what I kind of figured. ½ an inch deep, quarter 20. We got a number 7 drill in there, and we're going to drill it and tap it. Drilling some stainless. And this is some tough stainless alloy. I don't know what kind it is. I've said it before, but this is tough. Now you're all familiar with car companies that test their cars as they make them brand new, and other types of manufacturers. They test their products. Well, this here is Herb Blair's What's in Your Box Toolmakers Collaboration loaded tap follower. And because I don't have one, we're going to have to test this and make sure it works and use it to make another What's in Your Box Toolmakers Collaboration project. So this is tools helping to make tools. Now, for the first time, I'm feeling really nervous about snapping a tap here because this is some really difficult stainless. Okay, I got about a solid quarter of an inch in, and the tap was just flexing. I got real nervous that it was going to break. So I just sent Ray a text and was talking to him, and he said, you know, just get it as best as you could. You know, you don't want to break the tap, that's for sure. Ruin the whole job. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna leave it. We're gonna leave it as it is. It's a 1/4 inch, maybe a little better than a 1/4 of an inch. Well, here she is, all done. I think it came out pretty nice. Nice and shiny. This was a very, very hard, tough alloy. Mystery metal, we don't know what it is. I know it's, I assume it's stainless. The magnet does not stick to it at all. I was able to get a little bit further down into there without the tap snapping, but I was definitely I had my fingers crossed. It was a tense situation because you saw the tap. It was just like twisting and flexing. I thought, oh boy, I'm gonna snap a tap and ruin the whole job, but I didn't. I went conservatively. I didn't go a 1/2 inch deep with the threads. Probably, I don't know, maybe 3/8. But this is it. It's done. I'm waiting for the head to come from Ray, and Randy's sending the little head inserts. So we're gonna wait for them to get in the mail. But other than that, this job is complete on my side. This was a fun project, and I'm real happy how the whole collaboration turned out. When I get all the other parts, I'll put them all together and we'll do a final assembly video. But as for the build is done on my part. So thank you, and we'll see you on the next one.